This is a tutorial on how to replace your check valve with a quiet check valve so that in the middle of the night your pipes aren't banging and waking up the whole house, and then everyone's mad in the morning because their house was banging all night. Here is the check valve as it sits right now. We're going to take off the bottom part so all the water doesn't flow out. So now the bottom part is detached and there's still water in here, but there's a check valve in here. So we're going to try and get some of this water out with making as little mess as possible. I got an oil pan and I'll stop when it's full. Alright, that one's full, so got to empty it and start it over again. Oh, I guess that was all of it. Okay, now we can take off the whole thing. By loosening these top. I found my screwdriver. That took 7 seconds. All right, I need 2 hands for this. Alright, so now it's all removed with a gap there, so we're going to have to put in the quiet valve. So as you can see, the quiet check valve is a little taller than the older check valve was, meaning we got to cut a little bit. So I'm going to make a mark to how tall. I put the bottom, slid the bottom part in just to see where it stands. Make a mark to where it goes to. And then about 1.5 inches of that needs to set into the sleeve. So we're actually going to cut 1.5 inches below that mark. Now the pipe is marked, and because of my vast knowledge of school supplies, I know that this pink margin on a paper is about 1.25 inches from the edge, or exactly 1.25. So I'm going to cut along the pink line and tape that around the pipe so that I have a line 1.25 inches down from my mark, where I will draw a line all the way across because I'm hand cutting, so I want to make sure I stay. Now I've got my 1.25 inch marker, so I'm just going to draw a line with a Sharpie around the circumference of the pipe. Circumference again being diameter times pi. And as a side note, if I want the area of the inside of this pipe, of course I would take pi times radius squared. And if I want to know the volume that I can fill in this pipe, I would take pi times radius squared times the height of the pipe to figure out the volume of water this pipe holds. Okay, now I've got my ring around the pipe, so I can start hand cutting very carefully. I'm trying to stay nice and level. See how this goes? Now we're going to do what we in the plumbing industry call a dry fit, meaning before I glue anything in place, I want to make sure that everything is where it needs to be. So I already put the couplers on there, if you will. Make sure the O-rings are facing the right direction, of course. You don't want to blow out an O-ring during the process. So my check valve fits, we're just going to screw it tight, make sure everything's in order. Find a spot for my camera so you can see this intricate process. Everything appears to fit. You got about maybe a 1/16 of an inch gap on top, but that's okay because I can slide the top connector down about a 1/16 of an inch so it sits nice and tight against those O-rings. Alright, so part of this is I left all my tools way behind there, so I got to dig back behind the sump and grab them out. There's my glue, and let's see here. My screwdriver. Got it. Found my tools. Our next step is to glue the glue fit, so I have to glue in the two end pieces. Let the bottom one set for a little bit before doing the top. Alright, now we're going to do the top one. Oops, got a little drip there. I'm going to pause while I clean this up. And that is the finished product, an installed quiet check valve. Hopefully it works.